What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, Retro Stash Repairs. My name is Miguel. I have today red Game Boy Advance SP-AGS001 that I'm going to be fixing for a request from a recent subscriber. What I'm going to be doing is fixing or replacing one of the tactile button switches. In this case, it's it's B. I don't know why it says A, but it says deep clean, and I was planning to clean it, but after a while I just gave up on trying to clean them because most of the time it won't work. It's not like the power switch. You can clean it a little bit with IPA, and most of the times it'll work, sometimes it won't. But in this case, the tactile switches, all the ones I've tried to clean, maybe like once or twice it worked before. But I found most of the time it is not going to work even after you clean it. So I'm going to be showing y'all guys today how to replace the tactile switches. I already have a brand new one right here, and that I got brand new from package from AliExpress. I'll try to post a link to that in the description. So first of all, I'll be demonstrating how the beat button doesn't work. I'm going to be using Wolverine's Revenge game just because it's a quick, easy way to test the buttons out. See, the A button works. Everything works except the B. See right there? Wolverine is supposed to be slashing. It's not doing anything. Non-working B button. So I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and then get started. Alright, now that that's done, I just realized it's a PCB I've worked on before. I can tell I can see my own work done. So I guess I must have messed up and put the wrong letter button on there, but it's definitely B. And not sure what I fixed on this. Looks like I also replaced the volume slider. But okay, first off, what you will need for this is an X-Acto blade to take off the old tactile switch. So you could use a hot air station, but just realize if you use hot air, you'll most likely have to replace both because anything plastic nearby, can damage the other component. So I prefer not even to use it. I could put some Kapton tape on there, but I think this is just a lot easier and faster for me. And also, you may not have a hot air station as well, so if you don't even have one, then it's not going to matter. But first off, make sure you don't cut yourself doing this, and then use a very sharp X-Acto blade, and make sure you go as flat as possible, because then you don't also want to damage any part of the PCB, or then you'll have a way bigger problem. So, and then just each corner one by one, just removing Since I have most of it off already, I'm just going to go ahead and use the soldering iron to remove the rest. Oh, and you also want to make sure you're using fine tip soldering iron. Be really hard to do it if you don't have a fine tip. I'm going to go ahead and add some flux. That's off. Here's the old switch. Here's the new one I'm going to be putting on. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a clean. And what I like to do is clean it up with some solder wick and then add just the tiniest touch of new solder. Just because in the past, even after replacing them, I've tested some that still weren't quite working right, and I basically had to redo the whole process. Go ahead and remove a little bit off the first pad, slightly too much. Just want a tiny touch. Just so it lays almost flush. Go ahead and clean it with some IPA. Dry it up with the other side. And then now, add the tiniest touch of flux to each pad. And then you want to also make sure you have the right orientation, because if you put it on wrong, then it's obviously not going to work. Just make sure it's the same orientation. Doesn't matter if it's upside down or what, just make sure it's facing this way and not this way. See how it's different orientation? So you want it this way. And then what I like to do as well is to get an even better solder on there, a solder connection, is I like to trim off tiny little pieces of solder and then just place on that point when I'm fixing to solder it on. That way I don't have to deal with trying to hold the solder wire on there. Basically what I do is just trim a tiny bit off. All right. Then just try to like center it as best as you can, and then start to solder each end on there. All right, and what I like to do is to make sure, has good connection. I like to press with my tweezers on each end and then give it another touch with the soldering iron. All right, I think that's pretty good. Now, the only thing left is to re-clean each end with some IPA. See, mine is just a tiny bit crooked, but as long as it works, it doesn't really matter how it looks. All right, now I'm done. Just give it a gentle blow. With the can duster. Only thing that's left now is just to put it back together and see how it does. All right, now that we have it all put up together, it's time to test it out. Put my game in. Alright, moment of truth. Yes, it works. Feels really nice as well. Nice and clicky. Like a tactile switch should feel like. Now I got Wolverine all mad, but so yeah, it works now. And that's how you replace the button tactile switches on an SP. So it doesn't really matter if it's an AGS 101 or 001. It's going to be the same thing. So if y'all like this kind of content and want to continue seeing more, make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click on that notification bell button. See you next time.